Yeah, I mean, with the ease of the new App Store, click here, select, search, and then you just search for the app. Everyone's favorite one, Reader, Acrobat, and hit select. It pre-populates this information for you. The only thing you could really change is if you wanted to add maybe an information URL or some notes. And it doesn't do a logo yet. Eventually it will be. Next, and you just assign the groups. That's it. Adobe Reader is set to go. For that use case, I am really happy that's in the new store. Whereas the old way, I would have to grab the MSI or the executable, rewrap it using the Intune tool, upload it, and put the install commands, the uninstall commands, the detection rule, Adobe Creative Cloud. So you can see, like, when you create it, it basically pre-populates everything with the exception of the logo. It doesn't give you any other options. It's like, you search for it. It's the one I want. You click on it and you assign group. If you were doing like Win32, you have to manually enter the install and the uninstall commands. It gives you you have option. You have all the options for requirements, which, to be honest, I don't ever think I've ever used these bottom ones. It's usually just these top two. You lose the detection rule, and the detection rule is basically like when you push an app, you're telling Intune how to verify it installed. And within the detection rule, you have different ways of doing it. Like I said, you can do a registry entry, you can look for the MSI, look for an executable, look for a file, look for a folder. There's a couple options. You lose dependencies, which is, for example, if this application needed another application installed first because it would not run with that, you can do it using a dependency. The store app doesn't have that option, but the dependencies I personally don't run into that many use cases that there's a dependency required. I will say some of the apps, because they're older, do require .NET framework, the older version, 3.5. So we use the dependencies for that. You lose the option to do supersedence, which is just basically a fancier way of doing updates for the version. Like if this was version 1 and I wanted to push version 2, I can create the package for version 2, and then I could use supersedence from the older version to update it, or I could just assign the new package I made. But I mean, you lose all these extra options, which you have to figure out for yourself, because it's not like the software provider tells you. Which is why internally we keep like a list. Like, has anyone packaged this app? Yeah, I'm like, go look here. The install and install commands are there. And the detection rules are there. So it's more work, but there's much more control. Oh, you know what? I could think of an example as to why you may want to wrap Reader the old way rather than use the one in the store. Reader has a bunch of switches you could push during the install, like accept the EULA, disable updates, or there's a ton of options you can put. If your company was very strict in saying, no, I never want Reader the ability to auto update on the end user, you can actually put that in the install command when you were doing it as a Win32. Whereas the Microsoft Store version, you don't have that option. So that's a good example as to if it's available in the store, well, which one do I choose? I'm like, well, do you need anything specific? No, I'm like, all right, use the store version.